My first experience I had with doctors and nurses was when I was taken from my mum and dad. I was taken from my parents, and they put me into the hospital. They kept me there for a while until they were able to move me into the institution. That was in the city. I learned at a young age that I couldn't trust no one, because when they took me from my family, they put me in a hospital, and from that age I learned that I couldn't trust medical staff and the treatment that I received as well, just because I was Aboriginal. For me, when I was pregnant, they tried to tell me what to do, and I didn't trust them, and I was scared. I was scared they were going to take my baby. And I had to be careful on everything I was doing, because all I wanted to do was get out of there and run. I didn't want to be there, and I couldn't trust no one. That in itself was horrific for me. I don't know how many times I've signed myself out of hospital. Once I found out that I could sign myself out of hospital, there was no stopping me.
Elizabeth and I met when she had quite damaged kidneys. It was a little bit before she started dialysis. But when you chat to her, you can see that she had lots of risk factors beforehand. But for complex reasons, she never kind of got on top of it.
But this time I couldn't run. I had my family around me, and they were helped explain things to me that I can understand. I'm a fairly educated woman. I've had a career and everything, but when I was confronted with this, all my old issues just popped up out of the blue. I had no control of it, because that's what it does. It triggers your past.
When Aboriginal people are sick or not healthy, they tend to come to emergency and will often discharge against medical advice, and that's due to feelings of uncertainty, feelings of being unsafe. It's a clinical setting, and us as Aboriginal people don't respond well to that, because it's built from those government structures that have ostracised and had sensations of racism toward Aboriginal people. So we will often discharge against medical advice or not even present to hospital at all.
To all the doctors and nurses out there, I want you all to know, as soon as I'm in the hospital, on that hospital bed, straight away I'm in that fight and flight mode, and all I want to do is to get out of there, because I'm terrified.
The Aboriginal Chronic Care Team are really an important part of the overall treating team. They facilitate tests, medications for patients, but they're also an excellent communicator for the patient to the medical team if sometimes that's not easily doable. They also give us an insight into other cultural issues that might be really relevant that we might not be aware of. And I think together as a team works far better than individually.
Our program aims to educate mainstream health service on why Aboriginal people suffer chronic health conditions more than non-Aboriginal people. We also provide one-on-one education with our clients in the comfort of their home, so they're a lot more comfortable and open to health workers coming in and talking to them about their health. We definitely strongly encourage a good relationship with their local GPs as well. That's one of our main objectives. And we can go out and do education to general practitioners as well about closing the gap for Aboriginal people. We also run clinics out of a culturally safe community health centre. So there's Aboriginal people there and also non-Aboriginal health workers as well, who have been trained to be culturally safe and aware of our clients. It's not only their medical health that is affected, it's their emotional health, their psychosocial health, their cultural and spiritual health as well, which is a very important factor with Aboriginal people. When your cultural and psychosocial health is not up to par, it's not up to standard, it's not working, then your medical health and clinical health is affected as well.
I suppose what I've learnt over time is that just because the textbooks say it's right, it might not be relevant to that person. So I think it's my job to make sure that they have all the facts and the facts that are relevant to them, and then we need to be respectful of the decision they make. It might not be the decision I make, but as long as people are informed with the correct advice, then they can make a decision that's relevant to them. My practice has changed over time because I've learnt lots from treating Aboriginal people. I've learnt that culture is very important, spirituality is important, and family are important, and they're valid factors in terms of deciding treatment. There might be very important medical things, but it really all has to fit together for the individual for it to work. I think what Liz has shown me and others is that you can't let kidney disease define you. If you do, then it comes with it the bad connotations that culturally kidney disease has for Aboriginal people. Liz has appreciated that it is a medical problem that she has to deal with, but it hasn't defined her, and because of that, it has empowered her to make treatment options that are valid for her and her family.